Hi everyone, Aurelian here, Product Manager for Mac Operations. Today I want to show you how to work with the mesh database. The mesh database is a specific GIS storage in the GIS Manager that will help you work with unstructured data. By unstructured data, I talk about DFS U files. Okay, so you will be able to store and process the data in Mac Operations. That's a very useful feature when you work with real-time models, for example, Mac 21FM or MacFlood. Okay. The first thing you need is, of course, a DFSU file. Here in this example, I have run a Mac 21FM model that has created an output DFSU. And we can see that this file has several items. Okay, so we'll be able to import all those items and work with them from within Mac Workbench. In Mac Workbench, as you can see here, we have an import from the FSU file. So all you have to do is to point to the file that you have created, and the coordinate system is picked up automatically. You should not worry too much about the parameters here. It just tells Mac Workbench how to store the DFSU file. So in a sense, it will break up the DFSU file in blocks that will be indexed in a specific way in order to achieve a fast data query and retrieval. This was done for MetOcean projects, which means that the mesh database is extremely good at retrieving data from terabytes of datasets. Okay, so for normal projects, the default parameters are good enough. So the next step is to click on the Run tool, and you will have a window opening that will tell you what file is being read and where it will be stored. Okay, so by clicking Execute, we will see that two different files are created. That can take a few seconds or a few minutes to import depending on the size of the file. And again, the file is being broken down in different blocks, right? So there is a little bit of pre-processing done during that step. So as we can see here, we have now a new object called Flow in the mesh database. And this comes with a new feature class in the feature class repository. So if we open the feature class, we can see that the mesh has been imported correctly. It is completely integrated with the GIS Manager, so all the tools we have are accessible for this file. Now we will see what we can do with the mesh database data. As we can see here, we have a tool to display the data. In a sense, it is the same thing as double-clicking. So that's that. Then we have another set of tools that will help you query data from the database. Okay, so the first one I want to show now is GIS query. With this tool, you can retrieve individual time steps or statistics. By statistic, I mean minimum, maximum, and average value for each of the elements of the mesh. What I will do now is I will extract the statistics from the file we have here. So the first thing I need to do is to define a name. Okay, flow statistics. And then I have to define which item I want to extract. So here I will play with surface elevation. Okay, and here, as I mentioned, I will use statistics and I will not retrieve an individual time step. If we were to use this tool, just for your information, you need to define what is the time step you want to extract. Okay, so we go to statistics, which is the most useful tool here. If you click on Execute, you will see that a new feature class has been created. So the output of this tool here is actually a new feature class. You will ask me how it differs from the previous one. Well, as we can see here, the previous one doesn't have any data associated with the elements. It's just for visual representation. But if we open this feature class here, we can see that the minimum, maximum, and average data has been processed for each element. Now I will show you how to visualize this data. So the first thing to do is to open this feature class in a map. We can bring in the background layer. Here we are. And by clicking on this feature, we can see that we can configure this in the same way as any other feature class. So what I will do now is I will select a gradient, okay? And I will define a specific coloring. So from light blue to dark blue. Something like this. And I will make those transparent, okay? So now we can see the mesh structure, and the last thing we have to do is to define which attribute we want to display. Here I will look at the maximum water level across the domain, okay? So this can be really useful if you create favorites and if you use this in reports. Just as a reminder, you can add to favorite and start working with the data in a different way. So this map here can be saved and used in reports automatically. The second tool I want to show you now, going back to the mesh object, is the time series coloring tool. In the same way as before, we have to define which of the elements or item we want to extract. So here we will extract the surface elevation item, and we have to define the coordinate from which we want to extract in the file. I will show you in a second how you can get this information. For the sake of this video, I know already that this is the location I want extracted. Okay, so I will put it here. Last thing is to put the name of a time series. So I will put it here, time series 1, to define the unit, but that's picked up automatically. So by clicking on Run tool, you will be able to create a new time series in the time series manager. Okay. Now the question is how to easily get those data. So as it stands right now, and I am currently using MacOperation 2020 Update 1, you need to use this coordinate in the same way, in the same coordinate system as the input file. Okay, so if I go here, you will see that this file here is in UTM zone 33 north. So the values needs to be in this coordinate system. So it can be a little bit cumbersome to find the right value, but I will give you a little bit of a hint to get this done. So the first thing you need to do is to specify, I will copy it here, by clicking on database, you can specify the coordinate system of MacWorkbench. Okay, so now we are working with the correct coordinate system. Then you will open the file here, and you can see, for example, we can pick this element here, and at the bottom part of the map, right here, we can see the coordinate system. So the numbers you want to copy and paste are really the numbers on the left here. So if you input this into the tool, you will be able to retrieve the right value. Typically, this tool will be used automatically, so you will really need to extract this once, and it will be reused, every time you run the tool. So with this video, I close the little demonstration of how to use the mesh database in MacWorkbench. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me, and if you want to use this tool in different ways, we can extend it to fulfill your needs. Thanks for listening. Bye.